Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good morning. We are going to start promptly at 7:30, so please grab some coffee, some juice, and find a seat. Good morning, good morning. Speakers are facing this way. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. We're going to start right at 7:30. Please find some coffee and juice and grab a seat. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ebonie Atkins, Managing Director with the Henrico Economic Development Authority, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2024 Henrico State of the County. As we reflect on where we've been and where we're going, it's important to honor the companies that have been the backbone of our community for decades. To kick off today's event, I am proud to recognize a truly remarkable milestone. 2 businesses who have reached 50 years of operating in Henrico County, Strangers Florists and H.F. Robbins Jr. Construction Company. We can clap for that. These Henrico legacy companies have not only contributed to our local economy, but have been integral to shaping our community's character. Their longevity is a testament to the hard work, dedication, and innovation that have helped make Henrico what it is today. Although they were unable to join us, thank you to Strangers Florists for your presence in Henrico and for supplying the lovely floral arrangements here on the stage. Let's take a moment to also thank Barney and Rocky Robbins with H.F. Robbins Jr. Construction Company for their commitment to our community. We are deeply grateful for your continued contributions, and we look forward to many more years of partnership and success. And now we will continue with our wonderful leader, Henrico County Manager, John Vithoulkas.
Good morning, all. I want to thank you all for attending. I want to thank the Board of Supervisors for being here this morning, always present. And I want to recognize them first off with our chairman, Mr. Tyrone Nelson from the Verona District, Vice Chair Dan Schmidt from the Brooklyn District, Mr. Roscoe Cooper from the Fairfield District, Misty Roundtree from the Three Chop District, and Jody Rogish from the Tuckahoe District. You know, we're going to do this as we go through, so let's start practicing. Can we give them a round of applause? So you see all these folks with cameras and all the technology. That's Ben Shepard and Public Relations. I want to thank that group for being everywhere and doing everything, and especially this morning. I know you got here early. We have 2 budget analysts that have been working for months on this presentation that you're going to see, and they are Alex Siebold and Chris Addison. A lot of young folks in our workforce. We've got the best budget department in the whole state. Can you give them a round of applause? So I want to thank our dream team of leaders that you will hear from this morning for their work in representing our county. I also want to thank Dr. Amy Cashwell for our partnership and work as we traverse through another budget, another year of planning. I want to thank you, Dr. Cashwell, and I know you've got 3 members of the school board here. You've got Marcy Shea, Christy Kinsella, and Miss Atkins that are all present this morning. Can we give them a round of applause? So this morning, you are going to hear from just some of the stars that we have on staff. And I want to set the stage for them and you, because while today is an annual report out to the community, it also represents a continuation of effort, of heart for others. Henrico County is blessed. Our organization is blessed. Tuesday of this week, we dedicated the state's largest reservoir, effectively taking care of our water needs for the next century plus. That was a 22-year planning effort that happened this week. Our planning and organizational execution, this is our DNA. By performing the routine functions of government well, consistently, with muscle memory, we do things like pave the roads, we pick up the trash, we clean the parks, We fix the sewers. We help the customer. We pay our bills on time, every time. We answer calls for service. We answer calls for distress. We help those in need. And we do this over and over and over again, and we do it really, really well. When you have reached a point when you can do the routine functions of government well, and you are recognized by third parties through multiple accreditations, and this year, you're going to hear Dr. Cashwell talk about the Forbes rating as the best in-state employer that the school system received for the second year in a row. Well, this year, general government also received it, making it the only locality in the Commonwealth that has that distinction. So when you do things well with empathy, then we find ourselves, our Board of Supervisors can work towards the really, really hard work of government that few venture to because it is difficult. And what do I mean? I mean focusing on affordable housing, mental health, particularly for our students, homelessness, addiction and recovery, environmental stewardship, and forever preservation of open spaces. You know, think of Runnymede. I think of Tyrone Edward Nelson, who started this in Verona. And it started with Malvern Hill, and then it moved to Wilton Farm. And at Wilton, you recall, we walked. And then, Dan, you were part of that. And then ultimately, this board brought in Verona Farm. Those are forever, forever preservation places. And now you're going to hear Dr. Cashwell talk about one of the largest living buildings in the world being placed on that location at Wilton because of that walk that Mr. Nelson took one morning. That's what I'm talking about. So today's presentation we're referring to is on another level because it recognizes extraordinary public service. Again, you know, there are a couple quotes I want to share with you. The first one is a little bit dated, but it may capture the heart of an organization that at its core is entrepreneurial and is not _ risk averse. It comes from Teddy Roosevelt. And it goes like this. It's not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done it differently. The credit belongs to the person who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred with sweat and dust and blood, who strives valiantly, who comes up short again and again and again, who in the end may know the triumph of high achievement, and who, when he fails, he does so daring greatly. Or even more contemporary, our own Arthur Ashe famously said, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. So I get a little emotional thinking about these prior efforts because they do represent our workforce. If you think about the school nurses that we employed at mass vaccination events during COVID, I think of board members riding buggies, literally picking up the oldest, the frail, for their first vaccination, and everybody waited their turn. Monica, I remember you directing traffic, doing so many things. I remember Jackson Baynard leading an effort, not as the fire chief, but as a battalion chief that ultimately led us through COVID. I see the utility worker wet and drained at 1 a.m. in January, fixing a water pipe so that you have water in the morning when you wake up. I see the firefighter, the police officer, the EMT on the scene of a side of an accident, rendering aid and controlling their emotions. This past weekend, perhaps it was last weekend, Misty Roundtree sent us all a note, and it really hit home with me. And we were talking about a public safety incident that had occurred, and you made the comment, I had no idea the emotional toll that this work takes on the employees and us. And you're absolutely right. And that needs to be recognized. So I wanted to share that as far as a backdrop for the presentation that you're going to see and set the tone. You know, as we traverse into 2025, in a couple of weeks in this building, we are going to recognize several agency heads and many dedicated employees who have announced their retirement. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, great organizations transition well. They always do. And I expect 2025 will continue to be a year of transition for a workforce that will continue to serve our residents with heart. And with the guidance of the Board of Supervisors, we will get through all of that. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes my remarks. Can you give our superintendent, our rock star superintendent, a round of applause as she comes forward and kicks us off. Dr. Cashwell.
Good morning. Thank you, Manager Vithoulkas, for your outstanding partnership and steadfast leadership of our county. It is an honor to be here today, joined by members of our school board, and I do want to note that in addition to the three who were introduced earlier, Mr. Ryan Young from the Fairfield District is with us. If we could give him a round of applause. It is my distinct pleasure to share with you the amazing things that are happening in Henrico schools. So, Henrico County Public Schools, if you did not know, is home to more than 50,000 learners who are served by our dedicated teachers, support staff, and our administrators. Our students come from more than 124 countries and speak 139 languages, making us one of the most diverse school communities in Virginia. As a school community, we embrace diversity and strive to ensure rigorous and meaningful experiences for each and every one of our learners. This fall, we opened our very first middle school Center for Innovation at John Rolfe Middle School. And we continue to invest in staff that will meet the growing needs of our learners. For example, we added teachers to add additional support for our English language learners, more instructional assistants, and more counselors, just to name a few. HCPS is also investing $9.6 million to support our Opportunity School initiative, and this is to support schools who have the greatest number of provisionally licensed staff. This funding helps with licensure attainment, targeted professional development, and a teacher fellow who, in addition to teaching students, also serves as a mentor to new teachers who are developing their skills. Last spring, the school board and the Board of Supervisors together announced a $17 million investment in mental health to support over the next 5 years the transformation of youth mental health care for Henrico's young people and for their families. Since Henrico Cares was introduced in March, Henrico County Public Schools expanded its school-based mental health teams and successfully laid the groundwork for new partnerships with private mental health providers to co-locate clinics with mental health services on select school campuses. Through private providers, all students, staff, and our families now have 24/7 access to help with multilingual care coordinators, I should add, who can help them access community-based services that will meet their unique needs. And all of our high school students have access to no-cost mental health teletherapy. Tremendous initiative, and kudos to both boards for that really life-changing service for our students in our community. You know, feeling safe at school does contribute, of course, to the overall wellness of our students and staff as well. And to that end, weapon scanners are fully operational at every school in the county as part of each school's comprehensive safety plan. And over the last year, we hired more than 85 new school security officers to provide an additional layer of campus security. Henrico County and Henrico County Public Schools is known regionally across Virginia for investing in our employees and providing robust compensation and benefits. And that is just one reason why Forbes has named HCPS a Best in-State Employer for the second year in a row. Yes. Last spring, the school board approved an across-the-board 4.8% raise for all HCPS staff, with an additional step increase that brings the raise to 7.2% for our teachers, licensed instructional staff, and for our bus drivers. And starting this summer, bus drivers are now earning $25 an hour. And our investments do not stop with salaries. We've worked to provide meaningful quality of life adjustments through a robust parental leave program and ongoing expansion of our one-of-a-kind Henrico County Public Schools Career Ladder. Through the Career Ladder, eligible staff can advance professionally and on the pay scale without having to leave the classroom. As you can see, Henrico has a strong history of investing in the people, partnerships, facilities, and resources that support our students' academic and their personal successes. And that return on investment is great. We are incredibly proud to report that 58% of our students in the class of 2024 graduated with an advanced diploma. That is the most rigorous offered in the Commonwealth. Yes, give that a hand. And equally as impressive, HCPS students earn nearly 6,000 industry certifications and credentials through career and technical education programs. And speaking of CTE programs, the renovated ACE Center at Virginia Randolph will open its doors this school year. The campus at Virginia Randolph is a great example of how Henrico Schools is creating and updating learning spaces to meet the needs and interests of today's and tomorrow's learners. While the renovation and expansion of the ACE buildings are nearly complete, the two-story expansion of the Academy at Virginia Randolph is ongoing with an estimated completion this spring, and we cannot wait. 4 projects from the 2022 bond referendum are also in progress. In June, the school board approved plans to replace Jackson Davis and R.C. Longan elementary schools on their existing campuses. Students are slated to move into the new buildings, which will have increased student capacity in 2026. The school board also recently approved design plans for the replacement of Quioccasin Middle School. Originally constructed in 1971, this school will soon be home to future-ready learning spaces and the division's second Middle School Center for Innovation. The estimated completion on this project is 2027. And finally, one of the division's most exciting capital improvement projects is the new living building at Wilton Farm. And I want to thank the Board of Supervisors for their work in acquiring and providing the land for this very unique project. Located, yes, another round of applause for this. True partnership in action. This is located near the James River, and this is the perfect place for students to study ecosystems and environmental sustainability. The building, which will be the first Living Building Challenge certified public K-12 building in the world, will serve students at the Center for Environmental Studies and Sustainability from Varina High School, as well as all levels of Henrico County Public School students in various capacities and our Henrico community. Hands-on experiences on site will elevate environmental learning and sustainability, not only in Henrico, but also in Virginia and in the nation. As superintendent, I am incredibly proud to work alongside our school board in partnership with the county manager and the board of supervisors to create and deliver next level learning opportunities during and outside of the school day for the next generation of learners, workers, and citizens of Henrico County. And now it is my pleasure to welcome Henrico County Chief of Staff, Cari Tretina, and Deputy County Manager for Community Affairs, Monica Smith-Callahan, to look at Henrico's next level community impact.
Thank you, Dr. Cashwell. One of those amazing opportunities to engage the next generation is Teen Summit RVA. The second annual event took place on February 24th at the Greater Richmond Convention Center. This year's theme, I Am, was designed to inspire, uplift, and celebrate youth through the power of self-affirmation. It was also promoted leadership development and meaningful connections amongst participants. This year's summit hosted hundreds of diverse students from diverse backgrounds and more than 70 schools. Students participated in over 45 different interactive experiences, which combined facilitated discussions with art and entertainment. They also explored careers and summer job opportunities in the Inspire Youth at Work Opportunity Fair. Planning is underway for the third annual Teen Summit RVA on March 22nd, 2025 at the Greater Richmond Convention Center. The event is presented by the counties of Hanover, Henrico, and Chesterfield, along with the City of Richmond.
Our youth also deserve a future with a healthy and resilient environment, which is one reason why Henrico is helping lead a regional climate action plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions alongside 17 other localities and several tribes. While community engagement and research is underway, the region is busy identifying projects and applying for grants to advance our collective sustainability goals. The current priorities include expanding transit, reinventing how we process our waste, and implementing decarbonization strategies. You will hear later how Henrico is already ahead of the curve on all these fronts. But now, let's transition back to what we've been doing within our borders. Locally, we have heightened our focus on the livability aspect in Henrico by creating safe, stable, and wealth-building housing opportunities so our residents can thrive and not just survive. For over a decade and today, our total commitment is close to $110 million. We make roof repairs for senior citizens so they can age in place. We break down barriers to move people out of hotels into long-term apartment leases, and we connect individuals experiencing homelessness to food, counseling, and most importantly, shelter.
This spring, the Henrico County Board of Supervisors made a significant commitment to strengthening our region's safety net for those experiencing homelessness. The board approved to provide 25% of the estimated $3.4 million costs to operate the Salvation Army's Center of Hope on Chamberlain Avenue and Home Again's family shelter at 2nd North 2nd Street. These supports are in partnership with the City of Richmond, and the money will support programs operated by these nonprofit partners. Henrico's nearly $1 million investment is in addition to its $18 million investment over the past 5 years for other homeless partners, including Caritas, Housing Families First, and Homeward.
With market forces making it virtually impossible for first-time home buyers to own a home in Henrico, the Board of Supervisors asked us to help make home ownership more obtainable. In 5 months, we designed a unique program with Partnership for Housing Affordability, appropriated $60 million of data center revenue, and created 30 affordable homes in Varina and Tuckahoe. And we are just beginning. So don't delay your applications, home builders and developers, because my boss keeps telling me we have 120 more to go and 3 magisterial districts to hit this year. So portals always open. One recent major accomplishment encompasses all of these housing efforts into one community. Last year, we promised to end the neglect and abuse of the Glenwood Farms residents living in 294 dilapidated units. You might remember some of these images from actual occupied units. Well, today we are fulfilling our promise. We are proud to be in partnership with a strong local team of Spy Rock and Crescent in reimagining Glenwood while still focusing on affordability. With this deal, we have entered into a new realm of private-public partnerships and investments, and it is all thanks to the ingenuity and determination of our staff to improve the lives of these residents. We have stretched the limits of government by mirroring the financial tools of commercial banks in our EDA while instituting empathetic services and people-centric redevelopment practices. The physical transformation has begun, but our hope is that the property isn't the only portion being uplifted.
Henrico is doubling down on its reputation of being the county with a heart, with this unprecedented commitment to support the resident of Glenwood Farms. Henrico has committed to working with community partners to ensure that Glenwood's existing residents receive the wraparound supports needed to sustain in the new Glenwood. One of those partners is the Community Foundation for a Greater Richmond. The Community Foundation has agreed to establish the Glenwood Resident Support Fund, which will promote resident engagement and extend services to existing residents. The county also is working with the Capital Region Workforce Partnership and Neighborhood Resource Center to provide career and personal finance services to these residents. As a major employer in the region, Henrico continues to broaden its employee recruitment and retention efforts with an increased focus on talent pipelines initiatives to help employees improve their quality of life. In addition to our robust volunteer program and internship programs, Henrico recently introduced the Employee Home Purchase Assistance Program. The program helps eligible employees buy their first home in the county by providing $25,000 in down payment and closing cost assistance in the form of an interest-free forgivable loan.
One portion of our workforce that has definitely taken it to the next level is public safety. Under the leadership of Police Chief Eric English, we continue to combat crime with the most advanced technology and an aggressive street presence. We went from a tragic record number of homicides in 2 years to an 11% reduction in overall crime, and more significantly, a 22% reduction in violent crimes. Let's give our police force a round of applause. And this trend will only continue when we open our new and expanded South Station in January of 2025. Our Fire Chief, Jackson Baynard, and his staff have been making adjustments in their EMS responses and have added 2 new ambulances to arrive faster with the right resources. And this is all before the opening of the new Bridge Firehouse 23 this December. As a result, we are proud to share for our most valuable medical teams, the Advanced Life Support Units. Our medic units have shaved 17 seconds off their response times. Let's give them a round of applause. That's incredible. When every second counts, a quarter of a minute is life-saving. But Chief, maybe you should also consider shaving that new mustache. But donate to CASA for him, please.
The new Outreach and Engagement Agency was created to streamline and strengthen how we serve residents with diverse needs, including seniors, members of the multicultural communities, individuals with disabilities, and others while underscoring the county's commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. One of the agency's flagship programs, My Henrico Academy, which engages our multicultural communities and strengthens the partnerships between local government and communities. The county's commitment to older adults is evident through our Engage program. Cari, did you know that Henrico has 153 centenarians?
Whoa, no, I didn't.
The highest number of residents who are at least 100 years old in our region. We honor our centenarians with 5 special guests at our inaugural centenarian celebration in September. From the youngest to the oldest, from the lifelong resident to the newcomers, Henrico continues to innovate and develop to create partnerships, programs, resources, and amenities to benefit everyone in our community. We truly are one Henrico. I now turn it over to Andrew Newby, County Attorney, and Bentley Chan, Director of Public Utilities, to tell us about next level developments.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Cari. Bentley and I are absolutely thrilled to showcase some of the premier private partnerships and new public improvements in the county. For private partnerships, just look all around us. We reimagined Virginia Center Commons from a failing and abandoned shopping mall, literally, to a marquee attraction in Henrico. This massive redevelopment is a prime example of Henrico's commitment to leveraging private partnerships for the benefit of the community. Last year, we all came together to celebrate the grand opening of this beautiful, beautiful facility, just a tremendous facility. And this year, we get to celebrate a wonderful first year of events, from college basketball championships to high school graduations. But all of this wasn't Henrico's work. It was through private partnerships with folks like Rob Hargett, Repke, EDC, Neil Amin, and many, many others. These partners shared a vision for a world-class facility right here in Henrico, and they executed it to perfection. Next door, we see hotels, shops, apartments springing out of the ground, and all of this was made possible by private investment, bolstered by tens of millions of dollars in infrastructure improvements to roads and utilities funded by Henrico and the Economic Development Authority. Isn't that right, Bentley?
That's right, Andrew. Speaking of roads, Henrico continues to invest heavily in infrastructure to support residents and businesses. This year, the county will continue its strong partnership with Markel Eagle for the construction of Magellan Parkway to serve the future residents of Green City. In addition, the county is extending water mains along Magellan Parkway and constructing a sanitary sewer main crossing at I-295 to provide utility services to Green City and the surrounding areas. In the Three Chop District, Sadler Road will be widened and realigned between Dominion Boulevard and Cedar Forest Road. The project also includes numerous public safety improvements like roundabouts and dedicated trails for pedestrians and bicyclists. Likewise, the Three Chop Road will be expanded from Barrington Hills Drive with curb and gutter, sidewalks, and much-needed improvements at the intersection with Gaskins Road. Finally, Richmond-Henrico Turnpike will also be widened between Laburnum Avenue and Hummingbird Road to a 4-lane highway with sidewalk on one side and a lighted path on the other side. These improvements show Henrico's emphasis on pedestrian amenities for residents and students at nearby schools like Laburnum Elementary School and Henrico High School. Another key pedestrian safety initiative is the Board of Supervisors' commitment of $1.5 million for new streetlights in Henrico. Terrell Hughes and his all-star team in Public Works. No? Okay. They're hard at work studying where to deploy these new streetlights to have the greatest impact, specifically targeting major corridors like Broad Street, 9 Mile Road, Staples Mill Road, and Williamsburg Road. As this effort continues, I would like to remind everyone to wear bright reflective clothing when walking along roads at night and always face oncoming traffic if there is no sidewalk or shoulder available. Dog walkers, school children, and workers need to stay safe on the road. To this point, the Watch Out Ahead program, has distributed thousands of reflective vests in libraries, recreation centers, police stations, government centers, and at public events. In fact, there are child and adult sizes vests available today in the lobby, and vests will be provided to every single elementary school student in Henrico this year.
That was excellent. Steve Yob, everybody, Deputy County Manager. He's got his WOA vest. Steve is one of our biggest advocates for pedestrian safety. If you see him driving on the road, it's 10 miles under. If he's running on the street, he's got his headlamp and his WOA vest. But that's not the only way we keep pedestrians safe in Henrico. We continue by building new sidewalks, paths, and trails for walkers, runners, strollers, kids, everybody, and the roads. This year alone, Henrico built 20 miles of new sidewalks, trails, paths, and bike lanes, including sidewalks on big streets like West Broad Street, Williamsburg Road, 9 Mile Road, and Hungary Road. In addition, last year we came together to celebrate the groundbreaking on the Fall Line Trail, and progress on the trail continues at an exhilarating pace. When finished, the trail will connect Petersburg all the way to Ashland with over 7 miles of trail right here in Henrico County. Now, from the street to the swim meet, the county is committed to ensuring every child learns to swim. Partnerships with the YMCA, Nova Aquatics, Bentley's team at Henrico Water, Henrico County Public Schools, our rockstar superintendent, hundreds of Henrico County second graders received free swim lessons this year at state-of-the-art aquatic facilities. And speaking of Nova Aquatics in particular, Henrico and the Economic Development Authority recently committed up to $7.8 million in additional incentives to support the expansion of that facility at the former Regency Mall to attract bigger and better swimming events to Henrico. Turning to sustainability, Henrico's Environmental Action Resource Team, or HART, continues its efforts to reforest Henrico with new projects on Patterson Avenue and Parham Road, and started new initiatives like the pumpkin composting drive, turning mushy old jack-o'-lanterns into next year's topsoil. Don't look now, don't look now. All these projects are led by an energetic team of Henrico employees like Steve Yob, Cari, Tretina, Sam Hudson, and the true heart of heart, Stewart, the brave little turtle who has stolen our heart and captured our imagination as an inspiring force for environmental change. Let's give it up for Stewart, everybody. It is a pleasure to have Stewart here live and in the shell. Bentley?
That's one brave turtle, Andrew.
Yeah, that's right.
Another signature environmental effort is our commitment to making Henrico's recently awarded Best Tasting Water in the Commonwealth of Virginia and our premier sewer service available to every resident to help those who have contaminated wells and eliminate pollution caused by aging septic systems. This year, Henrico will commit the last of the $64 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds to expand water and sewer service to underserved areas of the county. And this effort will continue for years to come with a combination of utilities and general fund revenues. In addition to Henrico's commitment to making public water and sewer available to every resident in the county, Henrico has pledged to make water and sewer utilities accessible to every available property for development and redevelopment, like the Westwood area redevelopment, with our shovel-ready Henrico program. Henrico has already committed $10 million in utilities projects with an additional $50 million in projects in the queue. Finally, Henrico has big plans to future-proof the community, and none of these are bigger than the recent, substantially complete Cobbs Creek Reservoir. Situated on a massive 1,100 acres, this major commitment to the future of Henrico and the region was recently filled for the first time. Upon completion, Henrico will have almost 15 billion gallons of fresh water to meet the needs of residents and businesses in Henrico for decades to come. And As of Tuesday, this facility is now named the Virgil R. Hazlett Reservoir at Cobbs Creek. All in honor of the previous county manager whose leadership made this initiative possible. The future is bright for Henrico in 2025. And now with that, we'd like to turn it over to Director of Finance, Sheila Miner, and Director of Social Services, Gretchen Brown, to take us to the next level.
Thank you, Bentley. So how do these initiatives happen? And how do we prepare for the ones that are on our radar? The secret sauce to Henrico's success starts with the efforts of our Economic Development Authority, our business community partners, and our community development agencies to support a diversified economic base. That economic diversity is key to a tax base that is not a tax burden, having the right mix of residential and commercial development that keeps our services well funded while maintaining a low tax rate for our residential and commercial community alike. For over 35 years, Henrico has had the lowest residential tax burden of the 10 largest localities in the state, while maintaining exemplary levels of service in our infrastructure, facilities, and services to our citizens. Even with this low tax burden, we recognize that there are some Henrico residents who struggle just to get by. So the county is proud to be in the position to provide tax relief to some of our most vulnerable residents. Henrico's Real Estate Advantage Program, or REAP, and our new Real Estate CAP, or RECAP, offer some of the most generous eligibility thresholds in the Commonwealth to those who are over the age of 65 or permanently and totally disabled. While the REAP program celebrated its 50th anniversary this year, the first year of RECAP provided protection for elderly homeowners from the impacts of rising home prices. REAP and RECAP have had a tremendous impact on the most vulnerable of our community. Those who benefit the most are the 2,100 property owners with a taxable annual income under $20,000. This program keeps residents in their homes. Our economic stability and strong financial management enable Henrico to offer tax relief to businesses as well as residents. In calendar 2025, we will be exempting the first $1 million of gross receipts from our business license taxes. It's okay to clap for financial stuff, though. Despite the impacts of exempting $18 million in real estate and B-poll taxes, the county continues to add stability to our financial picture through additions to our general fund balance. Stable and growing reserves provide flexibility for the county to respond to changing economic conditions or unexpected needs for services. That financial stability is complemented by a commitment to high financial standards. While a AAA bond rating puts the county among the best of the best nationwide, Henrico exceeds even these highest standards with conservative, self-imposed financial ratios. In short, Henrico County holds itself to a higher standard. Our conservative approach to financial management spills over into the budget process. Each year, our budget team forecasts anticipated local revenue that supports our operations for the upcoming fiscal year. By keeping these revenue estimates low, we build a solid operating plan for the upcoming fiscal year that can withstand unexpected impacts or provide resources for unanticipated needs. At the end of each year, our annual revenues exceed our budget, providing financial flexibility to provide for our community. It's now my pleasure to turn it over to Ms. Gretchen Brown, our Director of Social Services, to show you more about how the county uses resources to meet the needs of our community.
I have the privilege of sharing how our employees, in partnership with our community, are working beyond our mandates and expectations to provide next-level human services to support a safer and healthier community. Empower Henrico, formerly the Addiction Task Force, has set a gold standard for how we treat, support, and prevent substance use disorder in our community. These efforts have contributed to a 39% decrease in overdoses and a 31% decrease in drug-related fatalities in the county. Empower Henrico has been a catalyst for change, instrumental in accessing funding from the Virginia Opioid Abatement Authority to create groundbreaking programs that actually work. We have a new mobile unit that's going into communities to offer treatment and other life-saving services to our residents. In a partnership between the Richmond and Henrico Health Districts and Henrico Area Mental Health, a clinician, prescriber, peer, and nurse work side by side to break down barriers and provide access to critical health and mental health services, including treatment and the distribution of over 350 doses of naloxone, medication lockboxes, safe medication disposal kits, gun locks, prescription savings cards, and other harm reduction supplies. In partnership with Charles City and New Kent counties, Henrico Mental Health is providing intensive services for women who are pregnant or parenting and who have a substance use disorder. Since this program started last December, 23 moms have been connected to treatment, therapy, psychiatric services, housing referrals, peer recovery support, community resources, and childcare. When needed, services are also provided to their children. Through this program, 22 children are now living with their mothers, 15 families are working towards reunification, and 4 healthy babies have been born. In July, the Department of Emergency Communications implemented the Marcus Alert System to enhance the local response to mental health emergencies. 911 calls are now assigned to an array of responses, including the county's mobile response team. This team includes a mental health clinician and a specially trained police officer who respond in a trauma-informed way. In its first 3 months, this is just 3 months of data, the mobile response team made contact with over 150 people experiencing mental health crisis. It's notable that these contacts resulted in only 1 arrest, with no use of force, and a small number of people requiring hospitalization, while we better meet the needs of our community through a coordinated continuum of care. We expanded our Connect program to a 5th community this summer. 24 youth living at St. Luke Apartments now have access to social, education, and enrichment activities. A special thanks to Senator Lamont Bagby, who gave us a giant check for $1.2 million and the expansion of this program year-round. Connect Plus provides a safe environment where 36 youth are receiving help with homework and tutoring, a hot meal, and access to programs for the prevention of substance use and youth violence. In addition, 2 full-time mental health case managers provide on-site services that are available to all youth and families living in that community. And we're just getting started. As good stewards of the Opioid Abatement Authority funding, we're focused on how we can best meet the needs of our residents. And here's what's on the horizon. Henrico Social Services received funding to hire a kinship navigator to better support youth living with grandparents, aunts and uncles, and other relatives, both in foster care and outside of the child welfare system. When children can't safely live with their parents, we know that relatives provide them with better outcomes in life, including a lower likelihood of developing a substance use disorder. We are focused on legislation and regulations for the substantial number of recovery residences in our neighborhoods throughout Henrico County, with the hope of setting and enforcing operating standards to ensure that these services are effective and that they are provided in a safe, meaningful, and ethical way. Construction on a detox center is expected in the very near future, and we are in active discussions about a crisis receiving center. And finally, Empower Henrico has started the Actively Aging campaign addressing substance use among our older residents. We're open to any and all suggestions for how to work more creatively to support our community. And to tell us more about next level living in Henrico are Dennis Bickmeier, the Executive Director of the Sports and Entertainment Authority, and Julian Charity, the Division Director with Recreation and Parks.
Thank you, Gretchen and Sheila. In the years since we last gathered here, champions have been crowned, a world record has been set, and wheelchair athletes competed on their way to the Paralympic Games in Paris. 2+ years as the Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority has flown by, but a strong foundation has been set and a strategic direction, as outlined on the screen, is in place. That foundation would not be possible without a good team and our many partners throughout the county, Catherine and the Richmond Region Tourism Team, and the ASM building staff here, as well as many event promoters who trust us and bring their events to Henrico. I would like to thank our county leadership, the original SCA board made up of county department leaders, and our new community-based board, many of them who are here this morning. And they got the message in last month's meeting from the county manager to be bold. So be bold, Julian.
And bold is how we would have to define our events. In June, we successfully hosted over 17,000 guests at Dory Park for our 4th annual Juneteenth celebration. Not only were the music and food next level, but we also added a community stage with a 9-year-old DJ and partied with people from all over the Commonwealth. Just 2 weeks later at Crump Park, our annual Red, White, and Light celebration on July 4th saw fireworks of a different type as we had to contend with thunderstorms and torrential downpours. Our partners in public safety did just that by keeping the over 5,000 attendees and staff protected to still host the Richmond Symphony and the Laser Light Show. But not to get ahead of myself, just this year started off with an exciting announcement. The Board of Supervisors approved the purchase of over 2,000 acres of Verona Farms along the James River. As I affectionately call it, Henrico's front door, this purchase represents Henrico County's resolve to preserve, in perpetuity, its history for generations of Henricoans and the surrounding region. Preservation efforts of this 171-year-old home are well underway, but we are focused on uncovering all this property's history all the way back to its indigenous roots, the original stewards of the land we walk on today in Henrico County. Just a week later, in the Three Chop District, our department cut a ribbon on the renovation of Henrico's first park, Cheswick. It was the culmination of funding from the 2016 bond referendum, and these upgrades include the addition of an outdoor fitness area, upgrades to the trails, playground, restrooms, pedestrian bridges, parking lot, main entrance, and its signage. But not to be outdone, in July we opened the new crown jewel of our park system, Taylor Farm. This park is also the result of funding from the 2016 bond referendum. It's quite amazing that in February of 2023, we were breaking ground in Sandston, and in July 2024, we were cutting the ribbon on Central Virginia's best destination. In just over 4 months, close to 220,000 people have attended Taylor Farm Park and have enjoyed the splash pad, misting mounds, all-wheel park, ropes course, playgrounds, and mile-long walking trail. This park in the Verona district is the definition of on another level. And how much does it cost to visit? Many of the reasons visitors will ask, it doesn't cost a single penny. Now, just yesterday, we debuted a new exhibit at the Recreation and Parks main office. Not only does it highlight the history of Henrico County, but the history of the Division of Recreation and Parks. So please drop in on us and check it out. Ground has been broken on phase 2 of the Glover Park project. It's nestled in the Brooklyn district, and this project will bring the county's largest dog park at 1.75 acres, 3.1 miles of gravel trails, a connector to the Fall Line Trail along Woodman Road, outdoor exercise stations and fitness areas, and a large playground.
As Julian just showed you, we have amazing facilities that people want to visit to the tune of $1.9 billion in overall visitor spending in 2023. Shout out to our hospitality community for creating a welcoming environment for our guests. Last year, we realized $72 million in sports tourism impact. But keep in mind, this number is reflective of just a couple of months with this building open. In addition, we only measure events that the SCA has some type of host involvement and only track visitors of 50 miles or more. So it does not take into account the thousands of athletes and families within that 50-mile radius who compete and enjoy our facilities. The number also does not count other sports-related impacts that happen in Henrico, like NASCAR or the Dominion Energy Charity Classic, or several other adult or youth-related sports travel events or entertainment events That happened thanks to Recreation and Parks, our youth associations, and several other well-organized groups that utilize, again, these amazing facilities in Henrico to bring visitors to our community. Impacting our citizens in other ways, like donating sports equipment, educational initiatives, health and fitness-related activities, and partnering with nonprofit organizations is also a focus area for our team to help benefit our community. Providing entertainment opportunities that also bring a national spotlight is a priority. For example, the national television broadcast of the Atlantic 10 Women's Basketball Tournament, or the inspiring National Wheelchair Basketball National Championship with our partners at Sportable, or something that is statewide, like hosting the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame banquet. And I invite you to check out the displays in the lobby and down the East Corridor. It's important for the young people who come and play in this facility to have an understanding of the individuals who came before them. And I want to thank Will Driscoll, the executive director of the hall, who made the drive over today from the beach. How about our 9 high schools, along with Caroline County, graduating right here? It was a special week. And guess what? In May of 2025, we will host 17 high school graduations with the addition of the CTE programs, King William County, and 4 Hanover High School graduations. Overall, in 2024, we hosted nearly 100 sports tournaments between this indoor space and outdoor facilities, and we have surpassed that $72 million of economic impact already, with athletes and visitors coming from coast to coast, north to south. I think it will be easier to pick out the couple of states that haven't been represented so far, but I bet we'll get to all 50 states being represented in no time.
And maybe we can help with that. By the end of this year, we will have hosted over 6.7 million parkgoers. That's an average of just over 558,000 people a month. We've offered 1,700 programs with over 75,000 program attendees. We have engaged an additional 70,000 plus people through our fitness classes and centers, open gyms, and our special events. By the end of the year, we are projected to have reached close to 200,000 people through those community engagement initiatives. Over 900 individual campers have been served through our winter camp, spring break camp, and summer camp offerings. But 2024 also saw the Division of Recreation and Parks awarded with 3 National Association of Counties awards for community programs: Canoeing with the Community, Henrico United, and Studio at the Springs. So what's next, Dennis?
Well, let me tell you, Julian, big projects are ahead that will benefit our community and region for decades to come. With Richmond Region Tourism and Randolph-Macon College, we have secured the NCAA Division III Women's Volleyball National Championship. Roads and utility work, thank you. Roads and utility work will commence on the arena-anchored Green City development very soon. And there has never been a better time to be in the women's sports business. Come out and watch some amazing women's basketball in March for the A10 tourney. With our partners at the EDA and Pros Inc., the former Crossings Golf Course acquisition was a strategic public-private partnership as we work to try and retain our PGA Tour Champions event and set ourselves up to host other major amateur and professional events. And Gift Breed and Phil Owenby are here, so more information, see those guys for some more info. Another public-private partnership has commenced with Prep Baseball to build out 4 additional diamonds as part of Phase 2 for Glover Park. PBR anticipates 30 weekends of tournament play at this facility. And of course, pickleball, the newly opened courts at Pouncey Track create a unique 24-court hub for pickleball in our region that can host major amateur and professional events. To help our sports community expand their offerings and be competitive in this ultra-competitive sports tourism space, we have created a sports tourism grant program. Thank you to Deputy County Manager Brandon Hitton for his stewardship of this program as we reinvest hotel and motel tax funds that are being generated by our out-of-town guests and making those dollars work to an even higher level so that a group like Nova, with one of the top aquatic centers in the nation, can develop 1,000 plus seating area that will help us attract some of the top competitions in the country. And I know some of the Nova reps are here today, so thank you for joining us. Or help the Strikers, and Jay Howe is here, expand its facility in an effort to not only improve its daily operation, but help with the demand of so many teams around the U.S. who want to come here and play in the Jefferson Cup. And to the former Crossings redevelopment, remember, be bold. So who knows, maybe Tiger Woods will play here one day. Lastly, I am proud to officially announce that along with Richmond Region Tourism, we have secured a 3-year deal with Next Pro Puma to host a boys and girls national showcase basketball event here at the Sports and Events Center and at the convention center simultaneously. Over 3,000 hotel room nights in July by athletes and their families will be realized, along with hundreds of college coaches that will be sitting right where you are to evaluate the talent. And I'm sure some of these young stars will end up on your favorite college basketball team. Julian, it's showtime all the time.
So what's next for us? Juneteenth 160, yes, is the 160th celebration of Juneteenth, but it's also Henrico County's 5th annual celebration at Dory Park. It's promised to be bigger, hyper, and guaranteed to get you off your feet. Juneteenth, Virginia 250, just next week, we are hosting Tea at the Tavern at Walkerton Tavern. This event not only commemorates the Boston Tea Party, but the other tea parties which occurred around the country. The Yorktown Tea Party, yes, there was a tea party in Virginia, occurred on November 7th, 1774, so 250 years ago last week. For 2025, we're hosting 3 traveling exhibitions in our recreation centers and the Virginia 250 Mobile Museum as some of our signature events. The dates and locations will be announced at a later time. The Three Lakes Nature Center and Park are reopening in the summer of 2025. This project in the Fairfield District sees the completion of the 2016 bond referendum with a new parking lot, visitor restroom, entryway, outdoor classroom, outdoor mural, and children's play features on the exterior, while in the interior, new exhibitions are focusing on the ecology of Virginia, past, present, and future. So now I'd like to pass to the Executive Director of the Economic Development Authority, Anthony Romanello, for Next Level Commerce.
Thanks, Julian. It's my pleasure to bring you the second hour of our presentation this morning. Just kidding. I want to recognize we have 4 members of the Economic Development Authority Board with us, Ms. Tai Davenport-Mallory, Mr. Eddie Whitlock, Mr. Dennis Berman, and Ms. Susan Custer. Thank you for your partnership with us. Henrico's economy is strong because it's diverse. This year, we've seen investments in corporate headquarters, advanced manufacturing, healthcare, and retail. Berkeley Insurance expanded. Owens & Minor became our 7th Fortune 1000 headquarters. Tucker Door opened their first facility in Virginia. KSB from Germany and Rope-Block from Holland opened here in Henrico. Centera opened their first Central Virginia clinic. And 3 of the world's largest corporations, Amazon, Coca-Cola, and QS Blackstone, doubled down on Henrico. That Dasani water that you drank that says Coca-Cola on it, it's bottled in Henrico. You want to know where the water comes from? It comes from Bentley Chan. So enjoy it. Best tasting water in Virginia. Please drink more Coke products. EPR opened their new headquarters in Henrico, and Merit Properties made their first investment here. And the of Hermitage High School dreamed big and opened the region's first slingshot dealer on Staples Mill Road called RVA Hot Wheels. Businesses small and large thrive in Henrico. That is fascinating, Anthony. Can you tell me more? Yes, Anthony, I'm happy to tell you more. While many of our businesses are small, all of our businesses are significant. This year, in partnership with the Henrico citizen, Tom Lapis, we helped 13 small women and minority-owned businesses increase their presence through the Boost program. Those businesses, in turn, paid it forward, donating to local nonprofits. Our pop-up mentoring program, or PUMP, brought to you by Ebonie Atkins, your master of ceremonies or mistress of ceremonies for the day, has helped over 100 businesses. We partnered with In Unison to hold a business town hall where 41 businesses participated. And in partnership with Eric Lebo and his team at the Department of Community Revitalization, our aging business corridors are being renewed. If you look at the bottom right corner of the slide, you'll see this business just off Mechanicsville Turnpike on Dill Road, once a blighted house. This is now Let's Be a Kid Daycare, enabling families in the neighborhood to work. The world is taking note of Henrico with 11 from, I think the microphone's go to the other side? I just thought you all were losing interest. Please hold. I'm Anthony Romanello, oh, you got that, okay. Can you hear me now? Very good. Where was I? Hopefully somebody was paying attention. Okay, Henrico is one of only 3 economic development agencies in the country to receive the Government Finance Officer's Certificate. And another Henrico superlative is that last year, the county's permit activity hit a record $2.1 billion. Greg Revels, we're going to miss you, buddy. You heard about our environmental efforts. Just look around and you'll see my favorite bird, the crane. I'm here all week. While many see office space as a threat or a problem, we see it as an opportunity to bring new businesses here to Henrico. Thanks to the support of the Board of Supervisors, we've developed Henrico Tomorrow, our comprehensive package to transform today's office into the workplace of tomorrow. Henrico Tomorrow includes grants for reimagining office space and for upgrading office space to trophy inventory that our businesses expect. The expansion of the commercial tax rehab credit program for office buildings. And as of Tuesday night, our Board of Supervisors approved expanding the Henrico Technology Zone to include every office building in Henrico. We also announced earlier this year the establishment of the Henrico Global Business Gateway at Gather at Innsbruck, where international businesses can find a home in America. Our first gateway participant will be Mr. Yogo Dubois, whose company is based in the Congo. Yogo will join KSB, Roadblock, and 75 other international companies who call Henrico home. We have no crystal ball on the future of work, but rest assured, we're going to continue to seize the opportunity of this time. When together we focus on growing Henrico's economy for all, the results come. All told, since January, Henrico has seen some $5.1 billion in announced investments. Our county's total economy is $32 billion. If we were a country, we would be the 99th largest economy in the world. And as you've heard from all these great folks today and everyone in the room, Henrico is just getting started. It's my pleasure to turn it back to my friend, our amazing county manager, and Henrico's newest grandpa, Mr. John Vithoulkas.
You know, y'all never know what comes out of Anthony's mouth. So, I've said it before. You know, we can't do the state of the county in this county in 45 minutes. We can't do it in 30 minutes, and you wouldn't like to live, work, play, live, everything if we didn't have all of the accomplishments and activity that we have. You know, I certainly hope that you have taken away what an incredible staff that we have. We have probably the most dynamic Board of Supervisors in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I can personally attest to that. But so I want to thank everyone for coming out. I know it's been it's a lot of information for members of the media that are here that want any kind of comment. We've got the members of the Board of Supervisors and staff that are here to assist. Dr. Cashwell, thank you and the school board for everything that you continue to do. For the businesses that have been recognized, we're going to do pictures up here with the Board of Supervisors as soon as this program concludes. Thank you all. Have a great, great day, week, rest of your year. Thank you.